are back on Kababyan today. Our phone lines are full. We want to get to everybody's call. Umpisahan natin Lourdes from Irvine. Lourdes, ano pong tanong ninyo?
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon. Ano pong tanong?
My son gave up his immigrant visa 5 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know how he is going to.
Yes.
And I don't know how he's going to go.
Does he want to get his immigrant visa back? Is that the
yes.
question?
He lives now in the Philippines.
Okay, so if a person gives up their immigrant visa, is there a chance for them to reclaim that?
You know, this is an interesting question. It's kind of like the last question where you stay out for longer. And I'm assuming that by giving up, he didn't actually go to the embassy and say, here's my green card, I want it, because you can do that. That's a different process. But if you've just stayed out of the United States for that length of time, I think it just goes back to the question of why are you out of the United States for so long? And there is a possibility, even at that length, if there are extenuating circumstances that you can show to immigration that this is why I was out. I was studying, or I was doing this, or something specific that keeps you out of the country, that there's a possibility to get that back. I think it's a remote possibility, but it's still a possibility, and it should be explored, because otherwise you're just back in the process from square one, somebody petitioning you to start over again.
Okay, and then you have to make sure that you have documents, obviously, to prove these circumstances. All right, let's move on to Rachel from San Pedro. Rachel, ano pong tanong ninyo para sa ating immigration attorneys ngayong araw na ito?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon din.
Pinanganak po ako sa Sandy Point, U.S. Naval Base,
Okay.
1968. Sabi nila, may possibility raw na U.S. citizen ako, but my father did not file for citizenship. He's U.S. Navy.
Okay, so ang tanong ninyo is, pwede ba kayong maging citizen? Yun po ba?
Apo.
Okay, so she was born in Sandy Point, the U.S. base. She's wondering, her father didn't petition her at the time to become a citizen. Can she still apply today?
You know, there was actually an interesting case just recently about an individual who was born on a U.S. base, and it was ruled, as it has been in other cases in the past, that birth on a U.S. Base does not grant automatic citizenship to an individual. So as far as that's concerned, that in and of itself is not enough to claim U.S. citizenship. Now, as far as her dad having been in the U.S. Navy and whether that through his citizenship confers citizenship onto her, that's a whole other question. And there is a possibility, just like the very first caller, where if there was a claim by the dad to be a citizen, that may potentially be transmitted to her automatically upon her birth. And so just like it sounds like the military lawyers may have given her an indication that it's possible, yes, it is possible. It's very fact specific. We need to take a look at where your dad was living before you were born, whether he spent significant periods of time in what's considered the United States. Definitely something to explore, because otherwise, just like with the caller previously, you're stuck being at the end of the line waiting for a visa.
All right, okay. We have a lot more calls to get to, but we will return right after this. We'll be right back.